I paid $300 for this video, and it wasn't for the editing or any of the content. It was actually something much more important. Here's why I did it. See, back on March 25th, I wrote the script for this video, and it went something like, "It's strange to again be a visitor to your home, to ship gifts across the country, and celebrate big news over FaceTime. But there's a reason we flew with an infant and dog to spend a week in New Jersey, and that is this." That was the original script. And then I dropped the hard drive with all of that footage. Now, after I dropped the hard drive, I went back and forth on replacing it. I had about 20 days of the daily vlogs that I film on there, plus some extra footage from our vacation to New Jersey. But at the end of the day, recovering that footage didn't seem worth $300 to me. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it was important to me to have those memories, especially those memories of travel and vacation with my family, no matter what the cost was. And I knew that if I didn't take the opportunity to fix my hard drive, I would regret it. And so ultimately, somehow dropping that hard drive turned this video into something much more valuable. I am a big fan of routine. I wake up at 4 a.m. just about every day of the week, and my routine from then on looks pretty much the exact same every day. Just wake up, get my wife out the door to her work by 5, run a few miles on the treadmill while baby's still asleep, take Cloud out for his morning walk, get home, do my 8 hours of work, make dinner, and go get my wife from her job. And I love it. Most of the time, the routine runs like a well-oiled machine. I love every little piece of it, from running to fitting in time to edit the daily vlog that I do on Instagram Reels. But sometimes it gets a little bit stressful. Dropping my hard drive and deciding whether or not I wanted to pay the $300 to fix it really changed my perspective. And I get those reminders all the time. When I'm playing with my daughter on the floor, sometimes there's that moment of clarity as I look in her eyes where the rest of the world completely disappears. I have not another thought in my brain besides that moment of connection with her. And that feels truly special. There are those times where I get off of FaceTime with my family back home, with my grandma, and feel joyful for the connection that we get to have and the reminder that they're there supporting me and supporting us and that they love our daughter. But those types of moments often aren't where I put the majority of my time, but more importantly, I let the stresses of all of those other things override those potential moments of joy. So the hard drive is back. We're going to see if we can get this to work. There it is. Haha, it worked. All of my videos are here. As I got the hard drive back and I scrolled through the footage, I knew I had made the right decision because that trip was a moment of joy for me. Life can truly be unexpected. We live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's something 10 years ago I never would have imagined. It can be challenging for life not to turn out the way that you expected it, but once you start to drill down to what's actually important, once you start to remember the most important things in your life, all of that fades away. And it's for that reason that I can say honestly, I feel happier than I've ever felt every day of my life. And it's not necessarily because of where I live or what I get to do or what I do for work. It's because I have this amazing daughter, an amazing wife, an amazing dog, my whole family, and the love I have for them just outweighs any other stresses, any other difficulties that go on in my life. I know I have people I can turn to if anything gets difficult, if I'm tired, if I'm stressed, if I just need a few minutes of a break. And that is an incredible thing. Of course, gratitude and having things that are important to you in life aren't a cure-all for stress. But when you're caught up in the routine of busy days, long days at work, stress in the workplace, stress at home, turning to those things that are really important, the things that you can't quantify, that you might gloss over when you feel like you don't have the time, but are actually the most meaningful things in your life, that can melt away a lot of that stress. Whenever you're in that moment of stress, whenever you're in that moment of busyness, try to remember what is truly most important. If you dropped the hard drive of your life and all of the parts broke, what would still be there? What would be most important to put back together? That's a corny metaphor, I admit, but I've been so caught up in the routine of the 4 a.m. to 10 p.m., 6 days a week, that I neglected at times the things that were most important, or at the very least, I didn't appreciate them to the level they needed to be appreciated. And dropping that hard drive while I was in the middle of one of those crazy moments, holding my daughter, carrying my laptop around, trying to get work done, and then plugging it in to see that it didn't work and it was clicking, was a reminder that it needed to slow down a little bit, take the time to look at what was actually important in my life and make sure I was investing enough time and energy and attention into that. And for that alone, I am incredibly grateful. So if you're in a place of busyness or stress, or your day-to-day is just bringing you a lot of anxiety, I would encourage you to take some time and reflect on what's actually most important, and just spend time doing that as much as you can, blocking out all of the other thoughts, because that to me has been the most meaningful thing in keeping me going through this routine, continuing to be as helpful as I can to my family as well as at work, and just continuing to push on all of the fronts that I'm working on. So yeah, drop the hard drive. I don't know.